Hello and welcome back to Rogue Trader. We have a gang which attacked us the moment we left this building, and after defeating them we learned the location of their base. However, before we can do anything about that, we need to level up, so we might as well do that then. And it looks like for our first character it's a talent level. Ooh, okay, so let's see what we got. All combat tactic bonuses are increased by int bonus plus fel bonus divided by 2% if area was not moved for 2 rounds. So 9% divided by 2, rounding down 4% if the area was not moved for 2 rounds. That seems really bad. Let's have a look at the abilities and see whether that's true. So, our character.
Let's not waste time.
So it'll be these bonuses. So it'll give you 9% bonus armor, and all enemies suffer 9% more damage from any source. It'll be 22% damage. Okay, that's a reasonable increase. Yeah, a bunch more cover efficiency, dodge reduction, and a bunch more range damage over penetration and critical hit chance. Okay, so the buff may be small, but it does buff a lot of things if you don't move it for 2 turns. That's kind of the problem, if you don't move it for 2 turns. It's not as bad as I thought it was, but I'm not ranking it very highly. I don't rank the buffs very highly to start with, but anyway. Using a stratagem on a rear area also makes the allies in that area the enemy's lowest priority for 1 round. We have a stratagem, don't we? Our stratagem is this, currently, which cannot really be used on the rear area, so doesn't really matter. Like, it's not really something that should be used in the rear area because it's used on an area which enemies are currently occupying. That's the wrong one. There we go. So, that one's not good. Crossfire zone. Using a stratagem on a frontline area, much more likely to happen, grants the allies in that area 10 plus 2 times the Grand Strategist int bonus plus fel bonus %. So, 9 times by 2 plus 10, so we're going for 19% increased dodge against other allies' attacks. I don't think we need that. I think I can just not shoot my own side. Using a stratagem on a combat tactics area grants all allies in that area plus 5 deflection against the next melee hit they suffer. Potentially pretty good. It doesn't actually even matter what the stratagem is, which is interesting. You just have to use a stratagem. So, in a way, it's just like, hey, use an AP to grant 5 deflection. Okay. Redeployment. Every time a combat tactics area is affected by a stratagem, all allies in the area gain 1 MP for the following turn. Okay. If there are more enemies than allies in the frontline area, all allies in that area gain parry and dodge. If there are more allies than enemies, all allies in the area deal extra damage. Okay, I don't think we need that. Although there is kind of an interesting cheese that you could probably do here by putting the frontline area on your backline to give all allies in that area an additional, let me just work it out here, for 7% damage. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. Personal zone. Allies, including the Grand Strategist, in the same combat tactics area with the Grand Strategist gain 3 plus int bonus divided by 2 perception and agility. I don't think that's us. Okay. Strong point. Using a stratagem on the combat tactics area for the second time in a turn refunds 1 AP. So you have to use 2 stratagems to get 1 AP. How much a stratagem costs an AP, right? Yeah, so effectively it's saying your second stratagem's free. Not useful right now. We only have 1 stratagem that I would want to use, but there's potential. Allies gain the ability to reposition the combat tactics area they're currently in for AP. No. Using a stratagem on the backline area grants allies in the area critical hit chance against enemies they are protected by cover from. No. No. I'm just going to start reading these and just go, nope, nope. This is interesting. So this is a talent which is locked by your initial archetype. That's kind of cool. Although the reason it's locked by your initial archetype is because you need an officer ability to use it. But it's still kind of interesting. First time we've seen that. Each time the Grand Strategist uses a stratagem, they gain a stack of Strategic Perfection effect. At 6 stacks, the next stratagem applies the benefit of all stratagems known by the Grand Strategist, and then all the stacks are removed. Useful if we had more of them, which we don't. At the start of combat, the Grand Strategist gains 1 random unknown stratagem and can use it till the end of combat for 0 AP. Interesting. So you gain 1 random unknown stratagem and can use it. That sounds really good. That sounds good, I'm not sure. Sniping zone. Allies in the rear area gain critical hit chance if there are no enemies in a 5 cell radius around the ally. Critical hit chance is going to be 7%. Okay, it's not bad. If there are no enemies in the backline area, the first attack in the turn made by every ally in the area costs -1 AP less. Okay, so that's backline area, so that means the area that we have Argenta in most of the time. Yeah, it's okay. AP is not usually the issue. Issue is usually I run out of shots. Enemies in the same combat tactics area of the Grand Strategist shouldn't happen too often. Every enemy killed in the frontline area increases all bonuses of combat tactics by +1 until the end of combat. All bonuses or combat tactics. So combat tactics, I think, are these, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's meaning these bonuses. You used combat tactics before, right? In the description of something. Let me just go down here quickly. Yeah, all combat tactic bonuses. There you go. So yeah, that must be what that's meaning. That's interesting. So you gain like +1% to things. Okay. I mean, that's fine. We can kill a lot in the frontline area. That's potential. There's potential there. All ally... Oh, I should also mark the other one up here while I remember. The enduring zone? Yeah. Okay. Where are we? Respite zone. All allies in the rear area are healed by medikits for more and gain the same amount of temporary wounds. And medikits cost less. So if you're willing to cycle people back into the back line, or sorry, into the rear area, you can then heal them for cheap. But our the person who's best at healing is going to be in the front line most of the time. Inescapable zone requires kill zone stratagem. Okay, what's kill zone stratagem? I don't have. Well, it's a stratagem, so I don't have it. These won't be in here. Yeah. Okay. Daunting zone. Willpower resistance tests forced by overwhelming stratagem are made with -5 plus 2 times the int bonus plus spell bonus penalty. So it's going to be 9, 18, 23. So -23 penalty. What does it actually do? If they're overwhelmed, they suffer ballistic skill negative, rate of fire negative, weapon skill negative. Additionally, melee creatures have their MP reduced, and ranged creatures try to get behind cover. Yeah, okay. So that's still very useful. Okay. Let's head in here. Head down this way. So there's potential on that one. Where were we? Daunting zone. The first stratagem used in a turn can be used a second time for 0 AP. That's interesting. That would allow you to trigger the double stratagem thing, right? Which one was it? It refunds 1 AP. So wait a second. This refunds 1 AP, right? The second time you use a stratagem. Where are we? The first stratagem used can be used a second time for 0 AP. So if it can be used a second time for 0 AP, and when you use it twice you gain back 1 AP, it costs 0 AP. That's pretty good. Right? I think that makes sense. It says every time an ally is under the effect of the stronghold stratagem. I don't have the stronghold stratagem, right? Let me just see. Maybe it's something that I can equip that I... No, I don't have it. Okay. It must just not have a restriction like all the other ones do, which makes sense. Maybe. Okay, so I like all of those. And then, of course, we have all of the normal ones that we had before. Like all of these ones, potentially, we could take. Which would be interesting. Like ranged weapons having all these bonuses would be nice, potentially. Okay, I want to take a stratagem one because I feel like that makes sense. Right? Which ones am I thinking? I don't use this enough yet for us to benefit from that. Like, I don't think that if I'm not going to be using it, then I shouldn't take this. First stratagem in a turn can be used a second time for 0 AP. I think that works really well with strong point, potentially. I think that works really well. Improvised strategy is also intriguing. I'm going to take improvised strategy. I like the idea there. It gives me something else I can use for 0 AP. Like a little buff. We'll see how good it is. It might be terrible, but it gives us something to work with. And then my thought was, if we take that, we can then potentially take opening stratagem afterwards. So if a random stratagem is good some of the time, we could then use that for 0 AP. Although I guess it says it can be used a second time for 0, which... Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't... Well... Yeah, I guess that doesn't really make any sense. I guess what I would do is I would take strong point first, because then I can use the improvised stratagem after we use our main stratagem and get our AP back for that. And then maybe take strategic offensive. I don't know. I maybe don't even need that. But it's a thought. It's a thought. Right, more options. Abelard. So, what do you want with Abelard? More things to keep him alive. Whenever the Vanguard hits an enemy with attack of opportunity, the enemy must make a willpower resistance test. On the failed test, the Vanguard becomes the primary target. Okay. Vanguard gains parry against enemies that consider the Vanguard a priority target. Each stack of unyielding beacon additionally increases armor and parry, so we get a stack every time we're shot at. Okay. That's really good, right? Because obviously your armor is then going to stack up a lot, which then means that you're going to end up being tankier the more you're shot at. I like that. And with all the temporary hit points we have, that'll end up being really good. Huh. Interesting. Formidable distraction. All enemies in a 2-cell radius around the Vanguard suffer a fell bonus penalty to dodge. If any enemies consider the Vanguard a priority target, those enemies suffer a penalty to dodge. Okay. Critical hits deal less damage. 15 plus 2 times toughness. So that is negative 27% less damage. I like it. I don't think we need it. While the Vanguard has at least one temporary wound, should happen a lot, they gain 5 plus toughness bonus percent parry and armor. That's 11%. Okay, I still think that this is going to be better over time, but I like that. All allies affected by any of the Vanguard's abilities. I don't think we have that many. Whenever the Vanguard's ally in a 2-cell radius doesn't apply. Once per turn, whenever an enemy that considers the Vanguard a priority target enters a cell adjacent to the Vanguard, that enemy provokes an attack of opportunity. We need defensive stance to get counterattack stance. I don't have any stance currently. While the Bulwark is active, the Vanguard counts as full cover for their allies. That's intriguing. And grants the adjacent allies plus stacks of unyielding beacon divided by 2 damage deflection against ranged attacks. That's kind of intriguing. Okay. We don't have force distract. We don't have any of these things, so there's no point really looking at these. Yeah. Okay, unyielding resolve. While at maximum stacks of unyielding beacon. There's maximum stacks of unyielding beacon? Oh, maximum 15. Yeah. So actually that means that would cap our armor parry thing at 15 as well. That's worth looking at. The Vanguard gains 7 resolve. Start of the Vanguard's turn. Before their temporary wounds are lost, the Vanguard gains number of temporary wounds strength for 1 round. Okay. Start of the Vanguard's turn. Before their temporary wounds are lost, the Vanguard gains extra temporary wounds. But then it says it's before they're lost, right? So would that not imply that you would immediately lose them? That's worded weirdly. I assume not, because that would make no sense. Whenever an attack made by an ally hits the Vanguard for the first time in a round, the attack deals no damage. And it would apply to everything in a burst. Okay. While the Vanguard has at least 1 ally in a 2-cell radius, it doesn't apply. All allies affected by the Vanguards doesn't apply. For each enemy that considers the Vanguard a priority target. It's the priority target thing. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I'm sold on it yet. I think Resilient Beacon is good. I think this is good. Yeah, what was it? Enduring Shield? I think Enduring Shield is also good. Because Enduring Shield is 11%, which is what this one's going to give you, right? Yeah, so this one would give you 15 max. This one gives you 11 immediately. But you have to have a temporary wound. But he almost always has a temporary wound. Yeah, I think I like that one. This one just sounds intriguing. I don't know if it's good. Critical hits dealing less damage is also good. I'm going to take Enduring Shield. I think that seems good. Yeah. By the way, did I take something at some point? Alright, let's lock that in. But did I take something at some point that gives him temporary wounds at the start of each turn? Or is that something I was going to give him? I think that might have been something I was going to give him, but I just want to have a look here. No. Hardened Scars? No. Defense Maneuvers, probably not that. Thick Skin? No. Daring Breach? Clenched Teeth? Nope. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. It must have been something I was thinking about taking. In which case, we're probably going to need to take that thing that gives you temporary wounds. Yeah, each turn, which I think was one of the ones that we just read. So that would be... which one was it? I don't know. I'm sure there was one. Wall of Rockcrete now grants 6 temporary wounds to allies. Is that the one I was thinking of? It might be that. It might be in here. No. I can't remember. It was somewhere in here. But anyway, that's fine. We gain temporary wounds like all the time by using Endure anyway. It just gives us another reason to do it. Okay, that's fine. Adira. Available talents. So she has a ton of talents. I just want to have a look down here and confirm. Yes, we cannot get the next Psi rating yet because we need to be character level 20. That's fine. Right, back to the top. Share the spoils. Whenever an ally kills prey, the bounty hunter gains half the bonuses granted by hunt down the prey. Okay, that means that there's a way for you to get the big targets more easily. So instead of Adira having to kill them, Adira only has to mark them as prey. Somebody else can kill them, which then gives Adira the bonus. Bonuses being... I go to Adira here.
Should I divine our next step?
Potentially critical damage and critical hit chance until the end of combat. That's pretty nice. And then you could potentially get temporary wounds as well. Yeah. There's some good stuff there. Right. What else do we have in here? Gruesome Kill. Whenever prey is killed, all allies in a 10 soul radius around prey have their agility reduced. Oh, sorry, all enemies. I don't know why I read allies initially. Have their agility reduced by 5 times the prey's difficulty tier. So we're talking like 1 or 2 most of the time. It's not that big a deal. Whenever the bounty hunter scores a critical hit, they gain armor penetration till the end of combat. Stacks. Okay. Whenever the bounty hunter scores a critical hit, the target's armor is reduced by 3 plus the target's difficulty tier %. Again, okay. Whenever an enemy is killed by a critical hit scored by the bounty hunter or their ally, the bounty hunter gains 2 times the enemy's difficulty tier % damage for 2 rounds. Doesn't stack. Whenever the bounty hunter is attacked in melee range, it's not going to happen. Whenever the bounty hunter kills prey whose difficulty tier is 4 or higher, the bounty hunter additionally gains 2 AP. Whenever the bounty hunter scores a critical hit for the first time in a round, they gain target's difficulty tier movement points. Gain movement points. Whenever the bounty hunter's first critical hit in a round... There's a lot of whenever the first critical hit in a round stuff, huh? Whenever prey deals damage to the bounty hunter's ally, the bounty hunter gains prey's difficulty tier % damage against prey for 2 rounds. So we could be talking like 4, 5, 6 kind of % here. Yeah, it's not that much. And it's kind of okay, because it does stack, which I guess is the nice thing. So if you had it, say, on that pink horror that we faced, right? I think the pink horror was a rank 4, and it hit 4 allies in an attack. So that would give you 16% extra damage. That's pretty good, assuming there's each application of damage, not each time damage would be inflicted. Or what I'm trying to say is, assuming that it's not per attack, it's per damage, right? So they attacked once, hit 4 people. So those would be 2 different values, but it could potentially be good. I like this one. We don't have Cull the Bold and we don't have Raid, so neither of those are useful. If Claim the Bounty kills an enemy, the bounty hunter's next attack this turn will always score a crit. Now that is really good, because then all of these like attacks made by criticals become good, right? The bounty hunter's allies gain 3 plus the bounty hunter's perception bonus critical hit chance against enemies affected by 1 or more of the following: trailed or immobilized. Okay. We're looking at 8 critical hit chance. Okay. Whenever prey that is not being trailed is killed by an ally. What's trailed? Oh, they have to be 5 or... Okay, difficulty tier has to be 5 or more. Okay, I didn't realize that. That's pretty good. Anyway. The bounty hunter gains an extra turn of half their MP and AP. Bounty hunter cannot attack during this extra turn. Oh, okay. Catch. Whenever the bounty hunter hits an enemy with an attack, they inflict the catch effect on that enemy. At the start of the bounty hunter's turn, the target suffers a stacking -2 times catch difficulty tier plus 5% penalty to armor and dodge. Once the catch moves or suffers damage, the catch effect and penalties are removed. Okay. Whenever the bounty hunter kills an enemy with a critical hit, all allies in a 7 cell radius around the target gain target's difficulty tier % critical hit chance until the end of combat. Okay. Whenever the bounty hunter performs a single shot attack on an immobilized or stunned target, this attack refunds its cost and does not count towards the attack limit. Okay. Whenever the bounty hunter kills an enemy whose difficulty tier is 4 or higher, the bounty hunter immediately reloads the weapon and attacks the closest enemy in their line of sight. This attack gains overpenetration but deals only 4 plus ballistic skill plus perception bonus, so 24% of the bounty hunter's usual damage. Okay. So we're looking at like main ones here. Claim and Maim I think is really good. Yeah, and then Retaliate, and then Share the Spoils is also potentially really good. Okay. And then we got anything down here we still need? We've got a bunch of psychic power stuff. The problem is, right? And it's not good, but like I still don't want to actually use psychic powers on her because I just don't want to deal with extra enemies right now. There's no reason to. Doing it just means that you're effectively just saying, hey, I can roll the dice. I could do like a little damage to the enemy, which is unnecessary, or I could make the fight like significantly harder. So, yeah. I don't know. Right now, I'm not a huge fan of that, but maybe I will be in the future. Yeah, let's go with that. That's fine. Wait, I didn't take anything. Let's go with that. I didn't take anything. Claim and maim. There we go. Cool. So if we kill a target with that, the next attack this turn will score a critical hit. I am kind of thinking, though, with psychic powers, that could be pretty cool, right? So you kill someone with claim and maim. You switch out to your psychic staff, and then you do a lightning bolt across all enemies that crits. Potentially very cool. Okay, talents for Argenta. Exploit weakness. When the Archmilitant attacks a target that have their armor reduced by any effects applied by the Archmilitant's allies, the Archmilitant deals plus 10% damage. Good. When the Archmilitant attacks targets that have their deflection reduced by any effects applied by the Archmilitant's allies, the Archmilitant deals a plus 2 damage. Okay. Begins combat with 2 stacks of versatility. We can get up to 4 stacks immediately. That is incredible. Also, can I just say, it's very obvious what characters fit their archetype better. Like, Abelard and Argenta fit it almost perfectly. It's like, yeah, I know what I want because they're really good at it. When entering combat with the Archmilitant, gain 2 times ballistic score weapon skill and 2 times weapon skill ballistic skill. I don't need that. The Archmilitant gains 3% bonus to critical damage for every stack of versatility. Ooh, potentially good. Dependable. Archmilitant gains a 2% bonus to armor for every stack of versatility. No. When the Archmilitant attacks targets that have their dodge reduced by any effects by the Archmilitant's allies, they gain critical hit chance. And if they have their parry reduced, critical hit damage. Very good, because we apply these all the time. Adaptability. Gaining a stack of versatility increases critical hit chance by 10% until the end of the turn stacks. It's 20% max. I'm not sure about that one. Killing an enemy with a nope. As long as the Archmilitant has killed at least one enemy with a nope. Enemies that were forced to make a resistance test, nope. Nope. Oh, let's see. Can use 200 ranged weapons with melee range, but with a minus penalty. Potentially okay, but I don't think we need that. Nope. Have a priority target again. No. Every round, the first single target ability used by an ally on the Archmilitant grants +1 action point to that ally. That's good. I like that. Archmilitant deals 20% critical damage against targets that are stunned, prone, or blinded. Okay. 1 stack of versatility whenever an ally grants the Archmilitant an extra turn. Potentially good. The problem with both of these is that these are really good with Cassia and only Cassia. Any ranged area and burst attacks with the Archmilitant reduce the weapon skill of enemies in that area. I'd rather kill them. Nope. Any of the Archmilitant's burst attacks and melee area attacks reduce the dodge of all enemies in the area. Nope. If the Archmilitant or their ally uses a heroic act, Archmilitant gains +2 damage for all attacks until the end of combat. Potentially okay. The cost of wildfire is reduced by -1 AP for every 3 stacks of versatility instead of 4. Potentially good. And then that's it. And then we have the things at the bottom. But I think we're fine. Okay, we have so many choices. I love Always Ready. I think Always Ready is incredible. Having the versatility stacking immediately, I think is incredible because we can get up to 4 stacks almost instantaneously. And if we can get up to 4 stacks, then
the Emperor
Wildfire immediately goes down 1 cost right there and then. Next attack will cost 0 AP and will not count towards the attack limit. So it's effectively saying I can go... I could go into combat, burst fire, shoot, like do that on turn 1. Okay. Turn 2, like ideal turn is like shoot, revel and slaughter, wildfire, right? Which we could then do because that would cost 0 AP. Yeah, and then we could burst. Like if we do it in the right order, I'm just thinking here. It'd be shoot, burst, right? That gets you to 4 on turn 1. Turn 2, shoot, potentially revel and slaughter, wildfire.
This
potentially,
is
or just wildfire. You know, there's some good stuff there. Although I guess you want to burst first, so that anyway, doesn't matter. Like however you do it, it's fantastic. Right, assassin. Let's see what Pascal's got. Now somebody suggested I should look for reject the flesh 2 on him. Let's just see. So reject the flesh does not appear to be like Psy, in that it's not down at the bottom. Yeah, I don't think there's any stuff down here for him. Okay, at least that says reject the flesh. Yeah, so I assume to do that you need to do something else that isn't just by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about this ability in, or this thing in here. Where is it? Reject the flesh 1. I'm guessing that to get reject the flesh 2, you have to do something that isn't just get a talent. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I don't see a reject the flesh down here. At least not immediately, unless taking one of these does something like that. But anyway, doesn't matter right now. Just a thought. Right. Up here, if an enemy suffers a critical hit from one of the assassin's allies, so one of the assassin's allies, a new opening is created on whichever side is closest to the assassin. No. Nope. Whenever the assassin attacks an enemy that is at full wounds, the assassin gains dodge and dodge reduction. Nope. Every turn, the first use of an assassin ability costs 0 AP. Allows us a dash for free. Okay. Assassin gains lethality % chance to deal max wounds more damage. Our lethality is in theory going to drop over time because our dodge is going to go down, which is how lethality is worked out, I think. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, it's either dodge or dodge reduction, both of which might go down over time. Whenever the assassin attacks an enemy with a single target attack, this attack reduces the target's armor and dodge by 10% until the end of the assassin's turn. All enemies that do not have the assassin in their line of sight suffer the unsuspecting effect. Nope. For every 10 damage dealt by an assassin's attack, the attack also deals +1 direct damage to the same target. Direct, I assume, means that it bypasses everything? Yeah. Okay. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that one, I guess. Trying to find useful things. And if the assassin deals direct damage to an enemy, that enemy suffers 1 stack of vulnerable. Which means that they take % more damage. Okay. And if the assassin hits an opening, the assassin's damage is increased by agi bonus %. Nope. Last enemy damaged by the assassin suffers the witness effect. If the witness does not have the assassin in their line of sight, the witness suffers damage with lethality. Grants lethality if you deal direct damage. Potentially something you could do there, but it has to be with a single attack, so no. While the assassin has no allies... wait, does this only do 1 damage? For every 10. So yeah, I guess if you did 50 damage, that would apply, but we're not quite at those levels yet. While the assassin has no allies in a 5-cell radius around them, they gain 10% dodge and 10 dodge reduction. Nope. Whenever the assassin hits a target with an attack that has 100 nope. Gains it lethality against, nope. Whenever the assassin hits an enemy without hitting the enemy's opening, the assassin gains agi bonus, nope. Each successful dodge does not apply. Whenever the assassin has no more than 1 adjacent enemy, any enemy that moves into a cell adjacent to the assassin must pass an agility resistance test with a strength bonus negative. No. This one deals an additional +3 direct damage. We do want to be dashing through people more with this. So I guess this kinda has a purpose, but it's only 3 damage, so like, no it doesn't. Though the only thing I think is vaguely useful is deadly calculation. Okay, and then we have things down here which are probably more useful. Okay. You can use the Mecha Dendrite to restore the wounds of an ally once per combat. 6 plus Medicaid divided by 5 wounds. Well, okay, it's not bad. Push enemies away. Increase perception. While Pascal is under the effects of Machine Spirit Communion, his melee attacks deal additional 10 plus 2 times int bonus damage. Okay, so 20 damage and gain 20% armor pen. That potentially is incredible. Because that's just using this. So use this attack. He suddenly does a ton of damage. Although, he doesn't really have the AP to do that in a turn. Wait, how many turns does it last for? Last for 3 rounds. So potentially really good if you can apply this and then go in. You know, we occasionally do use it, so it's not terrible. Okay, down here. Prediction protocols. Gains a bonus to dodge reduction and parry reduction with melee weapons. Potentially that would increase his lethality quite a lot. Because it would give him yeah, that would give him 20% dodge reduction, which would then give him 30 dodge reduction, increasing his lethality. If an enemy dodges or parries his attack, the bonus is doubled for the next melee attack against this enemy. Potentially okay. Every time Pascal uses plasma or melter weapons, his damage with these weapons increases by 2 times int bonus percent. So 10%. Stacks. If he does not shoot for 1 round, he loses all stacks. Machine Spirit Communion applies a stack of exploit. I don't think that's as good as we need it to be. Every time Pascal uses a plasma or melter weapons, he regains 1 AP. That's great. That means that his 1 AP extra cost for using a second attack is no longer like a big deal. Because it now costs him 2. That would cost him 2 AP to do 2 attacks instead of 3 AP. That's potentially incredible. Pascal's attacks and effects of exposed weakness ability gain bonuses against enemies under the effect of Machine Spirit Communion as if these enemies had 2 more stacks of exploit. Okay, cool. Close-up scanning. Melee attacks that apply the Machine Spirit Communion effect, or his melee attacks apply the Machine Spirit Communion effect on all affected allies. Or, sorry, enemies. Okay. That's fine. Gains 5 MP in the first round of combat. Every successful melee attack grants him more MP. Calculated Relations was one I was suggested to take. It's the one that means that you can use int instead of fellowship for a bunch of stuff. Forge World characters gain stacking hit chance dodge reduction against any target they hit with a single target attack. While wearing heavy armor, that's potentially good, but we don't have heavy armor yet. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Okay. So, I think filtering protocols is incredible, because if he regains 1 AP after using one of these things, it increases the amount he can do in a turn significantly. Because what I could do, let's make a turn for ourselves here, right? Attack, 1 AP. Shoot your plasma weapon. It would cost 2 AP, it now costs 1 AP, and I have 2 AP free. I could use Machine Spirit Communion. I could analyze enemies and do something else. I could use Intimidation, which I don't currently use because it costs too much AP. I could use Aim for an Opening, right? All of these abilities that cost like 1 AP suddenly become a lot more usable. I could use this one to dash through enemies to do that bleed damage that we got from our boots. So it's good.
You are in the presence of House
and now Cassia. Okay, hidden advantage. All the Master Tactician's abilities work as if the Master Tactician has more stacks. I don't... Oh, wait, I do occasionally use this, right? Because I use this for Inspire. Yeah. So effectively it would be giving, like... We end up like 18, 19 on this one. But it means that, like, we would give 2 damage to somebody instead of 1 damage. Sorry, to give 3 damage to somebody instead of 2 damage. It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I think that's fine. For every enemy hit by the Master Tactician's attack, the Master Tactician gains 1 stack of tactical advantage. It doesn't happen too often. Whenever the Master Tactician or their allies gain momentum, gain 1 more. Whenever they lose it, lose 1 more. Don't think we need it. Oh, they lose 1 less. Never mind. That's still fine. Don't think we need it. All enemies hit by the Master Tact doesn't happen too often. The Master Tactician begins combat with additional stacks of tactical advantage equal to the number of enemies. Okay. I kind of like that one. Gets you started. Deals more damage to people. Not a problem. Master Tactician immediately gains an extra turn with Master Tactician's fell bonus divided by 3, so 2 AP and full MP the first time any of the Master Tactician's allies use a heroic act. Okay. And then we could give somebody another turn and... Okay. Every enemy killed by the Master Tactician increases... It doesn't matter, because I don't attack. Using medkits doesn't matter. You're not going to use medkits. Whenever the Master Tactician reloads, like, I don't even have a weapon with ammo in it that we would have equipped. Grenades and medkits cost 1 less action point to use, minimum 0. Kinda cool, but no. Whenever the Master Tactician heals an ally, the ally gains resolve until the end of combat. If the momentum is higher than 125, first burst or area attack used by the Master Tactician doesn't apply. All allies have dodge against attacks made by allies. Deal less damage to allies. Okay, I'm not going to shoot people. Like all these ones where it's like you deal, you take less damage from allies. I'm like, yeah. The alternative way of doing this, right, is you just don't shoot your team. That would make life a lot easier, wouldn't it? Press the advantage ignores cover and dodge. Okay. The first ability the Master Tactician uses after the very first heroic act used in combat will cost 0 action points. Okay. Whenever the Master Tactician or the Master Tactician's allies use any consumable item or reloads a weapon, the Master Tactician gains 2 stacks of tactical advantage. Okay. Whenever an ally grants Master Tactician stacks of tactical advantage, the ally also heals 1 wound for every stack given. That's potentially really good. I do like the healing because they gain stacks by their resolve, right? So every time they gain resolve, they would gain a stack, so they kind of heal over time. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Whenever critical hit is scored, target of Inspire gains 1 additional damage for every 10 stacks of tactical advantage until the beginning of the Master Tactician's next turn. Is this always till the end of the next turn? I thought this is stacked for like... No, this lasts until the end of combat. Yeah. So that one is specifically till the end of the next turn. So it's just less good. Well, it's a less good buff, I should say. And then we're done. Okay. So out of these, I kind of feel like against all odds is kind of good. I feel like hidden advantage is kind of good. But they're both kind of good. And then down here, did I mark these ones? I did. Okay. Allies that are targeted by the Navigator's abilities gain +5 to resistance tests against warp effects. Enemies damaged by the Navigator, it's not a big deal anymore. Whenever an enemy fails a resistance test, I already have these ones, and then, yeah, okay. That's fine. Let's grab... I think against all odds or in Hero's Footsteps are very good ones, potentially. Yeah, let's grab against all odds. Gives us a bunch of stacks. It's kind of the same as this one, in a way, except, well, this one gives us stacks, and this one just acts as if it's 6 higher. Although this one is also quite nice. Actually, this one is great, because it gives us an extra turn, which means we can get an extra turn into an extra turn into... Or, sorry, we can get... Yeah, we can use a heroic act into an extra turn, which then gives somebody else an extra turn, which then, yeah, lets you stack pretty well. And that one will scale because it's based upon how much fellowship you have. So if we increase our fellowship, then that would then mean that this would give us more AP and MP, which then means that it would be even better. Yeah. Cool. That was a long leveling process. I do apologize, although hopefully it was good because we actually understand the characters a little bit more. Let's go do something. Yeah. Mainly because I feel like sitting still for an episode is not what I want to do. I want to do something. What that something is, I don't know, but something. Is this guy shut down yet? Did I not shut him down? No, I guess not. The liege must not have come over here yet and shut him down. As I did ask for him to be dealt with. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, there we go. You're in deep, friend. You made some powerful people very angry. Stop. No, wait. The dame told us to make sure you're not seen around here again, and we will. Okay. Well, not what I was aiming for, but... Well, there we go. They're dead. That'll do it. That will do it. Right, well... We dealt with them. We did say we were going to deal with them, and we dealt with them. So that's fine. Oh, is this the Anver warehouse? Wait a second, is that it? Which one was this one? This one was... Where were we? Visit the Ambers... No, it's somewhere in Sector 2. No, this was just a warehouse. Oh, that's the warehouse we escaped out of earlier. I remember. Right. Let's leave out here. And I just want to see where we can go to. Oh, so we can go straight to that, which is the that's the bar. Okay, I actually want to go here first to the void dock. We do have people who want to speak to us back on the ship, but you know, we've got stuff to do here. We've got loot to find. Let's see if we can find some. So it said it was near a key, I think it said, with small windows. So this one is Dreams and Stories. The hint mentioned a small key and large windows. Okay. Can I see it on the map? No. Also, interestingly, the map is not revealed to us here. That's kind of intriguing. Why would the map not be revealed to us? We've already been here.
Is there money to be made?
Maybe the map wouldn't be revealed to us if something on the map has changed. Okay. Over here? It's probably not like this. No. I think it's probably like one of these docks. Let's just head over here a second. Although it did say large windows, which these docks aren't really large windows areas. They're more, yeah, like docks.
I always have a
hello.
plan.
A familiar figure turns to you. Heinrich von Kalox, interrogator of the Ordo Xenos, bows his head respectfully. Lord Captain? Honored interrogator, what a surprise. Did you perchance leave something in your cabin? Not at all, First Officer Versarian. I'm not in the habit of leaving a trail, but I thank you for your concern. I'm pleased to see you again, Heinrichs. Heinrichs allows himself the hint of a smile. I'm glad to hear that my presence aboard your ship did not leave you with any unpleasant memories. I hope your disposition won't change once I explained the reason for my visit. I was able to contact my mentor and report the tragic events that transpired on Rykad Minoris. I also received some information from my agents regarding the movements and actions of enemies of humanity, including the Xenos that we're assuming were involved in the theft of the star. According to their findings, the threat now hangs over other worlds. This time yours, Lord Captain. Heinrich clears his throat and begins up in a pointedly official tone. By the order of the Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar, whose duty it is to stand sentinel over the Koronus Expanse, The rogue trader of House von Valancius is to take on board the agent of the most holy Inquisition and provide escort and support in deeds great and small that serve to safeguard the territories of the Imperium against its enemies. This decree is effective immediately upon announcement and remains in effect until decided otherwise by His Excellency Kalkazar. Adira's whisper is barely audible. All I got from this is that ridding ourselves of this snitch won't be easy. Heinrichs, would you mind translating the torrent of verbiage you just unleashed upon me? His mouth twists slightly. The Lord Inquisitor has deemed that my presence aboard your ship and in your retinue would be significantly more beneficial to the fight against heresy and evil than my return to my mentor's side. Our parting before our arrival on Footfall was premature. What exactly caused this need to rejoin my crew? The cause is the activity of humanity's enemies, including the cult of the Final Dawn. In my absence, the situation in the Koronus Expanse has changed. I have received an exhaustive report from my agents. This heresy has taken root in the region where the von Valancius worlds lie. You probably know about the fate of the industrial world of Kiava Gamma. If not, then I will share what details I know, but not here. Better talk on board, where we will not be overheard. Okay. Well, let's see what we're gonna say here. Well, I, rogue trader Malachi von Valancius, welcome the agents of the Golden Throne aboard my ship and take on the responsibility of assisting him in the fight against the evil that threatens humanity. Heinrichs gives a reserved nod. An answer befitting a righteous servant of the Emperor. If duty has brought you aboard the rogue trader's ship once more, then such is the Emperor's will. Welcome back, Interrogator. Thank you, sister. It is an honor to be traveling with one of the blessed Adepta Sororitas. Master von Kallax, or Kallox. Cassia's voice is brimming with genuine joy, which she immediately hides behind a facade of highborn primness. Since you are with us once more, I do hope you will find time to finish our conversation about the literary works of Kronhala the Blessed. I will make every effort, Lady Orselio. I must also deliver this to you. Heinrichs pulls out a sealed letter. The Lord Inquisitor specified that the contents of this envelope were for your eyes only. I would ask you to read it as soon as you have the time. That is everything for the time being. Are you headed to the ship, or do you still have a business on Footfall? Whatever the case, I can wait for you on board or accompany you as part of your retinue. He can wait for us on board right now. That's fine. Weirdly, you know what's really funny about him leaving and Cassia being forced into the party? Now I'm like, but Cassia is such a major part of our party in our combat situation. I'm like, no, they've tricked me. They've now made her, like, you know, someone we can't remove, and he was somebody we couldn't remove. So now we've got 7 people who can't be removed from the party. It's not good. Anyway. May the Emperor's faithful forever remain in the light of his favor. Let me first express my condolences on the tragic death of the most honorable Theodora von Valancius. Nevertheless, I was elated to learn that the warrant of the rogue trader has been passed to a worthy and promising heir. These words are not hollow compliments, but rather the Inquisition's official opinion about your person. As fate would have it, you have taken the reins of the von Valancius dynasty in an hour most dire, when grim portents of dark events to come are surfacing throughout the Koronus Expanse. I've been duty-bound to become the first sentinel who sees the approaching threat, and I hereby alert you that it is indeed coming. Our loyalty and resolve will be tested. People such as you and I will become the pillars that will unite the Emperor's frightened children and inspire them to fight back. And so I greet you as my dependable ally and assure you of my favor. From now on, you have a trusted friend within the holy orders of the Emperor's Inquisition and a receptive confidant on whom you can rely. Should the dark times ahead require you to make questionable choices, I have no doubt that such an incident will be examined in an exceedingly temperate fashion that rules out the most radical forms of justice. I have faith in the success of our partnership and thank you for your contribution both past and future. Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar. I wonder whether there are other versions of that. Like if you had, instead of doing what we did on the planet and bombing it, if you had potentially gone heretical on that, whether you would have got the same kind of response. Probably not would be my guess. Anyway, that was also the new thing on the map that would be that we didn't know about before. Obviously being
I always keep my
Heinrichs
options
there.
open.
Okay. So a key with large windows. Well, it's none of this, right? Because there's no windows. So it's got to be somewhere with windows. So it's got to be over here.
Rise to the top or get left in the
These are
dust.
large windows. Is it this? No. This was part of a different puzzle. Unless it's just saying it's somewhere on this area, like this
Keep
whole
your
area
wits
could be
about you.
what we're looking for. No. Anything in here? No. Oh, interesting. Destination Janus. Now we know
Always
that's
keep your eye
our
on the
world. That makes a
prize.
lot more sense, right? It's been there a while. Because Theodora hasn't been here in a while. See, this is the place with the largest window. Oh, it's there. Oh, there we go. The answer is close, Seeker. Remember the word realizing. Remember the place. A tunnel in the shadow of a bridge. The bridge in the shadow of a great statue. Shadow
Is there money
quarters.
to be made?
In the old tunnel in the shadow quarters. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, we have our next destination, but I think we also have the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.